it's like Elon, he just wants to be the Antichrist at this point. Everything that he's doing, look, I'm not saying that dude is doing anything particularly evil at this point in time. It's not bad to advance technology. It's not bad to bring alternative solutions. But when you start talking about implanting chips into people's brains, because when I first heard about this story, probably like a year ago, I didn't think it was fake. And then it came out and it was like, no, this is real. Elon is really working on a chip to put in people's brain. But then I was like, all right, well, there's no way it's going to be like a thing. It's going to be like the Cybertruck, like Elon came out with the Cybertruck, but then no one ever knew what happened to it. There's no way that somebody could really manufacture a chip that can go into your brain. But now this article comes out that says Elon Musk claims that Neuralink is about 6 months away from first human trial. And this is massive because not only for the first time, assuming that this goes through, not only are we going to see human beings literally turn themselves into ex machinima. Have you seen that movie Ex Machinima, where the robot is like superhuman looking, but it's a robot? Now we're going to actually be raising our hand and be like, hey, turn me into Ex Machinima real quick, because this is where we're going. But not only that, here's the thing. The medical advances that Neuralink is going to be able to bring to people who need it is literally going to be a miracle. Like, we're talking about people, which I'm going to show you a video in a second of Elon saying it himself, but they're talking about healing the blind. People who were born blind are now going to be able to see. People who are in a wheelchair are now going to be able to potentially walk again. They're going to be able to use a cell phone, use a computer faster than people with, normal functioning hands and fingers can. People who have had strokes, who just simply that they can't make the same connections in their brain because they've had injuries like strokes or brain injuries and stuff, things of that nature. They're going to be healed, and it's going to be a miracle. Now, like I said, it's not evil to want to advance technology, but where does this go? Where does this go? So let me show you this video, because just yesterday, Neuralink, they had, have you seen like those old like Apple events when they would like debut all the latest like Apple products for the year and stuff like that? They basically had that, but Elon's version of it. And I want to show you just the highlights, because this was like 4 hours long. Excuse me, I'm still kind of sick. This is like 4 hours long, but obviously I'm not going to make y'all watch a 4-hour video. So here's the most important parts from that 4 hours. And I want you to listen very closely to what Elon is saying, because it literally aligns with scripture. And before I get into this video, I want to show you this really, really quickly, because I want to give you something to think about as we're watching this video. This is 2 Thessalonians. Hold on, let me drink some water real quick. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. This is talking about the events prior to the return of Jesus, right? And basically it's saying, look, verse 9. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan. This man meaning the Antichrist. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. It also says that the person, the Antichrist, will defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God, claiming that he is God himself. So I just want you to think about that. Because obviously, like I said, we probably shouldn't be making predictions. We probably shouldn't be making bets as to who we think the Antichrist is going to be. But check it out. We're human. That's just what we do, right? We're humans. Forgive us, Lord. We're human. But it seems like Elon want to put his hat in that, and he want to join that race. He want to be, considered because the way that he's out here moving is kind of crazy. So anyway, let's get into this. As always, I'll give my commentary along the way.
All right, welcome to the Neuralink Show and Tell. The overarching goal of Neuralink is to create ultimately a whole brain interface, a generalized input-output device that, in the long term, literally could interface with every aspect of your brain, and in the short term, can interface with any given section of your brain and solve a tremendous number of things that cause debilitating issues for people. So you want to be able to read the signals from the brain. You want to be able to write the signals. You want to be able to ultimately do that for the entire brain, and then also extend that to communicating to the rest of your nervous system if you have a sort of a severed spinal cord or neck. I've often said that prototypes are easy. Production is hard. It's really, I'd say, 100 to 1,000 times harder to go from a prototype to a device that is safe, reliable, works under a wide range of circumstances, is affordable, and done at scale. We've submitted, I think, most of our paperwork to the FDA, and we think probably in about 6 months we should be able to have our first Neuralink in a human. So. Before we would even...
They don't even know what they clapping for. All those people clapping, are y'all going to be the ones that going to get the link in 6 months and be the test? Because otherwise, I don't know why y'all clapping.
Think of putting a device in an animal. We do everything we possibly can with rigorous benchtop testing. So we're not cavalier in putting devices into animals. We're extremely careful, and we always want the device, whenever we do the implant, if it's in a sheep or a pig or monkey, to be confirmatory, not exploratory. Let's see, and since the pager demo, we've expanded to work with a troop of 6 monkeys. We've actually upgraded pager. They do varied tasks, and we do everything possible to ensure that things are stable and replicable, and that that the device lasts for a long time without degradation. And here you can see Sake, it's one of our other monkeys, typing on a keyboard. But now this is telepathic typing. So to be clear, he's not actually using a keyboard. He's moving the cursor with his mind to the highlighted key. Now technically, we can't actually spell, and so I don't want to.
That's pretty crazy, though, huh? I number one, I thought the monkey was actually spelling, but regardless of the fact that the monkey is not spelling, the fact that you can actually control the cursor with your mind is crazy. The fact that you can actually, because here's the thing, this device is essentially what is going into your head. And this is what is in the monkey's head right now that they're talking about. It's this device, they say it's about the size of a quarter, and you're going to see where this goes. But this little thing right here, it actually sits outside of your brain. And then these little wire things right here are said to be thinner than one strand of hair. These are what actually gets implanted into your brain. So this is what is making the connection. But it essentially turns your brain into a Bluetooth capable machine where you could link to essentially anything that has Bluetooth capability. So with these monkeys, for example, this monkey is sitting there controlling the cursor just by the thoughts, just by brain power. This is literally like stuff of the future that I never really thought I was gonna see. But now that I'm seeing it, I wish I could be more excited about this, but I'm more so terrified. If I wasn't a Christian, I would be so geeked about this. But since I am a Christian, I can kind of like see right through this, and it's just terrifying. But let's continue.
Oversell this thing, because that's the next version. But what's really cool here is Sake the monkey is moving the mouse cursor using just his mind, moving the cursor around to the highlighted key, and then spelling out what we want, something that could be used for somebody who's say quadriplegic or tetraplegic human, even before we make the spinal cord stuff work, is being able to control a mouse cursor, control a phone, and we're confident that someone who has basically no other interface to the outside world would be able to control their phone better than someone who has working hands. And I mentioned upgradability. Upgradability is very important because our first production device will be much like an iPhone 1, and I'm pretty sure you would not want an iPhone 1 stuck in your head if the iPhone 14 is available. So it's going to be being able to demonstrate full reversibility and upgradability, so you can remove a device and replace it with the latest version, or if it stopped working for any reason, replace it. That's a fundamental requirement for the device at Neuralink. I think it's also important to show that Sake actually likes doing the demo, and is not like strapped to the chair or anything. So
it's interesting that I don't think he said that by, accident, because there was actually a story that came out that said that Neuralink was apparently killing all of these like monkeys because the technology was basically frying their brain or something like that. And I don't know if this is true or if this is fake or, whatever, but when I was researching, it said that they were using some sort of like bio glue, and the bio glue in these monkeys was like eroding their brains. And now there's like lawsuits against Neuralink and stuff like that because they were, causing unnecessary harm to these animals. So once again, I don't know if that's true, if it's allegations. I saw it on Google, but it's interesting that he chose to address that.
Yeah, so like our monkeys are pretty happy, so as you can see, a quick decision maker on the fruit front. The first two applications we're going to aim for in humans are restoring vision, and I think this is like notable in that even if someone has never had vision ever, like they were born blind, we believe we can still restore vision.
Did you hear what he just said? One of the first applications is to restore vision. So even if somebody has never had vision before, then they will be able to restore vision. Remember what we said at the top of this video, right? The man of lawlessness, or the Antichrist. 2 Thessalonians 2, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Because once again, the fact that he's figured out a way, seemingly, to restore vision of blind people is amazing. It's incredible. It just shows the creation power of human beings. And I think that's what God, wanted in the first place. But the thing that God wanted was to direct the glory to God, not to man. And I think with these, new technology and all these breakthroughs, it's incredible, it's amazing, but let's not forget the creator who made it all possible, which is God. But a lot of people, they're going to forget about God and they're going to say, hey, Elon, he's restoring vision. He's making, quadriplegic people walk again. He's doing all these miracles. Who needs God? And that's the problem. The problem is not what we can do with the creation power, because ultimately God gives us the power to create. We're made in God's image. God is a creator. We are made to create just like God, but it's not for our glory. It's for the glory of God. So the first application is going to be to restore vision in people who are blind, even if they have never seen before. Very, very interesting.
Because the visual part of the visual part of the cortex is still there, and then the other application being in the motor cortex, where we would initially enable someone who has no ability, almost no ability to operate their muscles, sort of like a sort of Stephen Hawking type situation, and enable them to operate their phone faster than someone who has working hands. But then even better than that would be to bridge the connection. Take the signals from the motor cortex, and let's say somebody's got a broken neck, then bridging those signals to Neuralink devices located in the spinal cord. I think we're confident there are no physical limitations to enabling full body functionality.
How do you create a
He said, in that, y'all got to understand what he just said. He said, we're confident that there is no limitations to enabling full body functionality. So first he started out with the example of Stephen Hawking. So Stephen Hawking, if y'all don't know who Stephen Hawking is, he's the dude, like super smart guy, apparently, can't speak, can't walk, can't talk. He's in a wheelchair. I'm pretty sure you know who Stephen Hawking is, but he basically said that people like that who are in that situation, they're going to be able to use their phone better than people who have actual functioning hands. How is that possible? Well, it's going to be all done through the mind. Just like we just saw with the monkey, through the ability that Neuralink has to literally interface with the brain. A computer is literally interfacing with your brain. Now, people are going to be autonomous. And this is literally from Neuralink's website. It says people are going to be autonomous. With a Bluetooth connection, you would be able to potentially control any mouse or keyboard with your thoughts. You can also control your device. They're going to have a whole app that's going to connect straight to your phone where you can control your device better than me and you can control your device, because it's all happening instantaneously through your mind, through your thoughts. But he went from that example to saying that there's also going to be implementation where not only are people going to have one Neuralink, so they're going to have one Neuralink implanted in their brain, but they're also going to have multiple Neuralinks implanted down their spine. So people who can't walk, who are in a wheelchair, the Neuralink in their brain is going to communicate with the ones in their spine, and it's going to connect everything together to where now people who were told that they would never walk again because like of a bad car accident or a bad illness or things of that nature, now they're going to be able to walk again, which is incredible. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not looking at all this stuff as like it's negative, but I'm seeing what it is from a biblical perspective. I'm seeing what's happening. And it's just so clear that people are not going to give glory to God for these miracles, because these are miracles. These are miracles. People are not going to give glory to God for these miracles, but they're going to give glory to Elon. They're going to give glory to Neuralink for these miracles. And that's where the issue lies. But let's continue.
high bandwidth, generalized interface to the brain? So our first steps along these dimensions for our device is what we call the N1 implant. It's a size of about a quarter, and it has over 1,000 channels that are capable of recording and stimulating. It's microfabricated on a flexible thin film arrays.
Isn't this so crazy? Like when we were kids, like our mom and like our parents would be like, "Hey, yo, don't stand by the microwave." You know what I'm saying? Like when it's cooking, don't stand by it. But now we literally are taking the microwave and putting it inside of our brain. Like it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
We call threads. It's fully implantable and wireless, so no wires, and after the surgery, the implant is under the skin and it is invisible. It also has a battery that you can charge wirelessly, and you can use it at home.
Unlike many consumer electronic devices, which can simply offer a physical connector, charging a fully implantable device poses several unique challenges. First, the system must operate over a wide charging volume without relying on magnets for perfect alignment. The system must be robust to disturbance and complete quickly so as not to be overly burdensome. However, most important is safety. In contact with brain tissue, the outer surface of the implant must not rise more than 2 degrees C. Our current production charger, which charges our current generation of implants, is implemented in an aluminum battery base, which also includes the drive circuitry. A remote coil, 4 times the size of our original device, also disconnectable. This remote coil has increased switching frequency, driving improved coil coupling. I'd like to show you one of these applications.
So let me show you this real quick. And then you're going to see the actual charger on a monkey. But this is the charger right here. So not only do you have to implant this device that is being held in this surgeon's hand right here, that's going to be implanted into your skull, which I'm going to show you how they do that in a second. But you also have to charge it. You also have to charge it. So it's like we're literally turning ourselves into walking devices, where now we have to literally charge ourselves. Hey, maybe you know what? It is cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is cool. Would I ever get one? Absolutely not. But the fact that they're able to do this is cool, but that doesn't mean that, just because it's cool doesn't mean that humans are going to be able to use it in a way that's going to be safe and effective and healthy and glorify God, right?
Applications here with a device we call our simple charger. And the coil has been embedded into the habitat. With the addition of one new outer control loop plus a banana smoothie pump, the troop has been trained to charge themselves. On the right, we're streaming real-time diagnostics from Pager's N1. When he climbs up and sits below the coil, you can see the charger automatically detect his presence and transition from searching to charging. We see the regulated power.
So you see, dude, the monkey hopped up. He drinking a little banana smoothie. The charger is up here. So it's like you have like a wireless charging pad, and then you got to put your head next to it, and then it transmits the energy into your skull. And now you see the charging waves because it's charging. That's the same technology that they want to put in humans, that they're going to put in humans in 6 months. Nothing could go bad, right? I don't think anything could really go bad. I think this could be like a very great thing. No, like, come on. We know what's going to happen. Because here's the thing. They're stating that the first applications is going to be for medically necessary circumstances, right? Curing illnesses, blind, people who are disabled, things of that nature. But you don't think people are going to want to just use this just to, level up their brain, so to say? You don't think people who are healthy are not going to get this thing done? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think more people who are healthy are going to want to get this than people who are unhealthy. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, but let's continue because I want to actually show you the part where they actually put it in the process, because the process that they use, I'll show you just a sneak peek. The process that they use, and they're going to show a video of it, is all artificially intelligent. It's all through a robot. It's just, they're going to be cranking out these Neuralinks like an assembly line. They're going to have lines of people lined up, and these robots are just going to be cranking out, doing these surgeries, like, 15 minutes of just popping them in and out. And then millions of people are going to have this Neuralink, and we're never going to know because it sits below your skin. You can't see it. It goes undetected by the, just by the eye. It is a crazy world that we're living in.
Our output on a scale of 0 to 1. and the current driven into his battery.
So similarly, for implanting our device safely into the brain, we built a surgical robot that we call the R1 robot. It's capable of maneuvering these tiny threads that are only on the order of few red blood cells wide, and inserting them reliably into a moving brain while avoiding vasculature. It's quite good at doing this reliably. And in fact, because we've never shown an end-to-end insertion of a robot in action, we're going to do a live demo of the robot doing surgery in our brain proxy. So who wants to see some insertions? So here it is. That's our R1 robot with our patient alpha who's lying comfortably on the patient bed. This is what we call the targeting view. So what you're seeing is this is a picture of our brain proxy. And the pink represents the cortical surface that we want to insert our electrodes into, and the black represents the vasculatures that we want to avoid. And what you're seeing is these hash marked with numbers that represents where we intend to put each of our threads. So this is another view real quick. On the left is the view of the insertion area, and on the right, what the robot's going to do is it's going to peel the array, the threads, one by one from its silicon backing, and insert it into the targets that we predetermined in the targeting view. So there you go. That's the first insertion. So we're going to see a couple more insertions. The whole process of inserting about 64 threads in our first product is going to be around 15 minutes for this robot.
To get an N1 device, it's essentially
these 15 minutes. Bruh. That's pretty quick.
steps. Targeting and the incision, drill the craniectomy, remove the tough outer meningeal layer called the dura, then insert the thin, flexible threads of electrodes, place the implant into the hole we created, and then that's it. You've got an implant under the skin. The
Crazy.
surgical robot does the thread insertion part of the surgery. This is because it would be very difficult to do manually. The rest of the surgery is done by the neurosurgeon. There's still a lot for us to do to get to that procedure where we reduce the role of the neurosurgeon and make it affordable and accessible. The two elements of the surgery that demand the most skills from the neurosurgeon are the craniectomy and the durectomy.
You've gotten to hear about the advancements we've made over the past year. We've improved implant robustness, battery and charging performance, Bluetooth usability. Realistically, every new device version is going to be significantly better. We need to keep this new technology accessible for our early adopters. This means that we need a solution to make device upgrade or replacement just as easy as it is to initially install. We've explored many different avenues for designing around this healing process and finding a solution to make device upgrade seamless. Our best successes have come from making the procedure less invasive. Instead of directly exposing the brain's surface, we instead keep the dura in place, maintaining the body's natural protective barrier.
The same properties of the dura that make it a good protector of the brain also make it really difficult for us to insert the threads into. In humans, the dura can be over 1 millimeter in thickness, which doesn't sound like a lot, but compared to our 40-micron needles, it actually is a lot. For example, if you scaled up the needles to the size of a pencil, the dura would scale to over 4 inches in thickness. Take a look at how far you have to zoom in to even see it. By the time the features of the needle come into frame, you could see individual red blood cells in the same frame. One challenge is that we have to use the needle and the protective cannula that it sits in to grab onto the thread and to hold it while we peel it from the...
All right. So I think y'all get the point, right? I was nerding out a little bit, but I think y'all get the point. One thing that you didn't see that they mentioned is that in Austin, Texas, that's where they have, I think they have a Tesla plant in Austin, Texas. It used to be in California, and they moved it to Austin, Texas. And they've actually built out a something similar to what you see on the screen right now, this like surgical like clinic type of thing. But something that they said in the video is that they're going to have an actual Neuralink clinic. And this is, I'm assuming where they're going to be doing the procedures at. Now, just imagine if we get to a point where, you know how there's like a Starbucks on every corner? Just imagine, because these are so quick. The procedure, I don't know. It sounds like the procedure can be done in like an hour or less. Just imagine if this procedure becomes as common as like a laser eye surgery procedure, where a laser eye surgery procedure was seen to be something that was like crazy, was innovative, that like, whoa, like I can't believe you got LASIK. Now we have a LASIK clinic on like every corner, and it takes like 30 minutes to get your LASIK eye surgery done. Just imagine if this turns into that, basically. And now we have millions and millions and millions and millions of people walking around with Neuralink, walking around with literal technology in their brains, in their head, that I would imagine could be easily tracked. If the government wanted to track it, I could imagine that it could be easily tracked. If somebody wanted to implement some type of software attack or like cyber attack, I'm pretty sure that, you know, somehow, some way, there would be a vulnerability to be cyber attacked directly within your Neuralink that could essentially shut down your extremities, shut down your body, and actually do the opposite of what it's intended to do. So instead of healing your body, if there was something like a cyber attack, I'm sure it could actually do the opposite and shut down your body. So there's so many different possibilities. There's so many different ways that this could go. And like I said in the beginning of this video, who do you think is going to be the Antichrist? And a lot of, hey, listen, I'm just talking, right? I'm talking just like, this is how I'd be talking if you were my friend, and I just want to know, do you think it's going to be Elon? Do you think it's going to be Gates? Do you think it's going to be Ye? You think it's going to be Trump? Like, at this point, it looks like Elon is clearly in the lead, and there's not a lot of people who are close. So let me know what you think about this story. Get in my comments, like for real, get in my comments. Share this story with somebody, because this is such a crazy story. And let me know what you think, all right? I'm out.